students have two different options in terms of where they want to register. College students can choose to either register at the address that they live while they attend school or at their home address. For students who choose to register at their home address, this typically means that they're going to have to vote absentee to cast their ballot for the election if they're not able to actually return home physically to vote during election day or during the early voting period. Every time you move, you do need to update your voter registration address. So if students are not sure if they are registered or what address they're registered at, we have a link here for them to check their registration status. Voting absentee is a bit more of a complicated process than voting in person. There's some steps that you have to initiate in advance of election day to make sure that you get your request in and then get your ballot to submit before election day. New York has expanded some of the options to vote absentee in the November general election in light of the pandemic. So we'll go over some of the important things to know if you are choosing to vote absentee. So in New York State, voting absentee requires that the voter provides an excuse. Typically for our students, they're providing the excuse that they are away from the county on election day. So if you are registered at your home address and you're not able to physically return home to vote, you would be using this away from county excuse. Due to the pandemic, New York has expanded options for absentee voting. So now all New York voters can vote absentee in November using the temporary illness excuse. So if there are students who are registered here in Broome County, but maybe for health or safety reasons you prefer to be voting absentee rather than going in person, you do have that option for November, and you would want to select the temporary illness choice. Some other things that will make it easier for students to vote absentee in November. New York is allowing absentee requests to be submitted electronically, so they can be submitted by email to your local Board of Elections or through a new web portal through the New York State Board of Elections. So those are options for students to be able to submit their request without having to actually print and sign their form. Once you actually receive your ballot, you also now have an extra day to postmark the ballot back to your local Board of Elections. Typically this is due the day before Election Day, but for this year it has been extended to Election Day, November 3rd. So if you are voting absentee, you will want to be checking your mailbox, getting your ballot, filling it out, and making sure that it's postmarked at the very latest by Election Day. So voting absentee does require a few different steps for you to be aware of. First, you do need to actually submit the absentee request form. This can be done through the mail, through email, or through a web form. Again, you'll need to provide your excuse, whether it's because you're out of the county or the temporary illness excuse or the other options that are listed here, depending on your situation. Typically, you are going to want to have the ballot mailed to you. We recommend having the ballot mailed to where you are physically going to be. So whether that's on campus or at your off-campus apartment. And we have provided the example here of how to format the on-campus address information. These requests are due by October 27th at the very latest, but it's really important to get your request in as soon as possible. We're expecting that many more people are going to be voting absentee this November, and in order to make sure that you get your ballot in time and that the Board of Elections are able to process everything in a timely manner, submit your request now. If you know you want to vote absentee, just go ahead and get your request in. Once your request is submitted, you will receive the ballot to your mailbox, whether that is at your off-campus apartment or your campus mailbox, to make sure you're checking that. Complete the ballot, and then it needs to be postmarked back to your local Board of Elections by Election Day, November 3rd. Again, if once you get it, fill it out and submit it early. We really recommend completing these steps as far in advance as possible. You have all of the deadlines noted here, some that are particularly of interest. October 9th is the last day to register to vote. October 27th is the last day to request your absentee ballot. November 3rd is Election Day. And then we did just want to mention that we have this great texting service. So we always encourage students to sign up for this. So if you want to take out your phone, you will receive occasional text reminders from the CCE and the Andrew Goodman Foundation with important information on voting in the upcoming elections.